going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do the Super Bowl 59 Beast Picks. Joining me once again is the reigning 48.
I'd rather be anywhere else.
Hey, you know, I feel the same way, man.
I don't want to talk about football at all at this point, but
I've been there with the championship games, and we got to truck along, even though these two teams are not teams we necessarily want to be in the Super Bowl. That's how it is.
I just think if it would have been any other team facing the Chiefs, I'd be okay with it. This is like the worst possible outcome.
Redskins had more. Commanders.
This is like the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, it's a rematch of Super Bowl 57.
Well, it's official. The Jim Kelly curse no longer exists.
Well, yeah, you can see. He told you that hurt.
Well, it doesn't exist because Hurts won.
Yeah, but
it's officially gone since 1996. It's the first time that has happened.
Well, 95 wouldn't, because that was Kelly's last Super Bowl.
Yes, but 96 would have been the year it started.
No, it wouldn't have been, because wasn't 94 the last year? 95. Because 95 was
then 95.
Then Steelers and Cowboys.
Okay, then 95.
Yeah. All right. So the Super Bowl 59 is a Super Bowl 57 rematch 2 years ago. The Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe the Eagles are the home team, right?
Yes. And the Chiefs are a 1-point favorite, aka it's a pick'em.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that, but it's not a bad argument. Not a bad point argument here for that. Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl, and it's so make sure what stadium it's in.
New Orleans.
It is in I forgot. New Orleans Superdome.
Jameis Winston's been reporting all week down there. He asked Saquon where he should sign, and Saquon told him he thinks the Giants need a quarterback. I think that would actually be a very good fit, though.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Giants do need a quarterback, but I mean, will it be a bridge quarterback though? Because they might draft a quarterback.
I keep hearing a lot of people say they're not going to draft any quarterbacks this year, or at least not high, because they aren't very interested in what the talent is this year.
Well, Sanders might be pulling Eli Manning, so
Sanders is going to have an option if he gets drafted in the second round. It's going to be pretty damn stupid if you wait.
I heard he's going to be a first round pick, though.
I've heard he's sliding, so.
But we'll see for that. But getting to this game, it's in the Superdome. Saquon Barkley, apparently his birthday is on the same day.
And the Eagles are sick.
What does that mean?
Apparently, Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle, came down with something, and it's basically going around the locker room.
Oh, that's not good. So, I mean, do you want to break down like the advantages, or
we can do that? I guess first and foremost, the media is just eating Kansas City live. Have you seen any of that?
I've seen some of it. The referee conspiracy.
Have you seen what they've said straight up to Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes?
I've seen it.
The fact that now you've got people like Terrell Owens thinking that the league is rigged.
I've always I always want to put a disclaimer. I do not believe that the players are in on it or anything like that. I do not believe that stuff is going on. But I have always believed that the referees have had some type of manipulating if the games are close.
To this point, the players 100% are in it. The arrogance and ignorance and how Mahomes and Kelce are treating this I
don't think they're in on it.
I do.
I think there's so many players that would have to be involved for that to happen.
I think that there is going to be a very large investigation this offseason. I think Goodell has turned his hand enough. There's going to be an investigation.
You remember the Steelers was involved in one of your teams, Steelers, 2005 divisional playoff game, right? Against the Colts when they went on to win the Super Bowl?
Vaguely.
Okay, that game is what made me start believing in the referee theory. Because 5 minutes left, because Steelers were winning that game the whole time. They were winning by 10 points with like 5:43 left. Polamalu got an interception, and he fumbled it when he got up, and then he recovered it. And it went to the replay. Back then, they're automatic booth reviews for turnovers wasn't a rule yet, so Tony Dungy had to challenge it. Tony Dungy challenged it. The referees, it came out later, but like the head referee said, once they seen the replay, the ruling on the field is overturned. It's not an interception, it's incompletion. The Colts went on then to score the touchdown. And of course, the Steelers overcame it because the Vanderjagt ended up missing the field goal anyways. But that always made me believe, because after that game had ended, Steve Sable on NFL Films, and it's still there, game of the week segment, they said that in New York, when they do the reviews, they talk through New York or whatever, and they said, Steve Sable said this, he said that it came out that he was supposed to go with the call on the field and it was supposed to stand, and the head referee didn't do that. And Steve Sable said it on NFL Game of the Week. And that has always made me believe in the referee theory. Now, the Steelers overcame it and still won, but I believe that a lot of these games in the playoffs are like the referees.
Not even the playoffs. Look at the whole year. And the thing is, like, it's not even because I'm a Bills fan. Realistically, the Chiefs had a chance to be gone in the first round of the playoffs. Houston played them damn well, and it was a one-score game the whole time. And then it's odd.
If the games are close, the referees can do something to manipulate. The Saints game, the Saints and Rams NFC Championship.
To me, it's very odd that all of this can happen now, and you keep watching these little cadences, but all of it seems to be tilting towards Vegas money as well. Look at the Houston game. Houston is beating the spread at that point in time. Kansas City gets the ball and runs it out of the end zone for a safety. Houston's not beating the spread. Kansas City's winning that one. Now Houston wins the game by beating the spread. Who had Houston win? Nobody was taking Houston to beat the spread.
Yeah. Like, what was the spread for the Bills? The spread was like 2, right? Wasn't it a 2 for the Bill? Or
it was 2.5. Yeah. So,
and I mean, they beat the spread.
Yeah, but that's a whole different scenario. But like,
yeah, I don't think like I said, I think what goes on is that the referees, they will manipulate certain things if the game is close. If it's a blowout, it doesn't matter. They're not going to try it. But if it's close, they try to do certain calls or lack of. Look at the Rams and the Saints in 2019 NFC Championship game. That was clearly interference and helmet-to-helmet on a defenseless receiver. Not one penalty was called for that. And that would have given them the first down. The game would have been over because the Rams had no timeouts. 2-minute warning would have been over. They would have ran out the clock.
All I'm telling you is I'm confident this offseason is going to be very interesting because I think there's going to be a very large discussion about what is happening going forward.
Yeah, I hope so. Because, I mean, we've been saying this, it's been for a while. If the referee theory has been out there for a long time.
The problem is the referee theory wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't the same team that benefits from it constantly.
Well, yeah, but you could argue with the Patriots, too, when they had Brady there, too. He got some calls, too.
That's what I'm saying. It was the Patriots dynasty ends, and now it's the Chiefs. It was always odd.
But the Patriots never had a three-peat, though. They never had a chance for a three-peat.
And here's the thing, even more conspicuous. Did you see about that with Pat Riley? Pat Riley, with the NBA Miami Heat, owns and has the trademark for the term three-peat, and the NFL's already licensed it from him for merchandising for the Super Bowl. That's not conspicuous at all, though.
Where's the three-peat for the Packers? Because we did have a three-peat, just so you know.
Yeah, not in the NFL.
Yeah, in the NFL. 65 to 67.
Before the three-peat was coined.
Well, yeah, but we're the only team that really had a three-peat. Though. Like, we won 3 consecutive championships. Yeah, it was in between the end of the NFL championship era and the Super Bowl, and the beginning of the Super Bowl era, but it was still 3 consecutive championships. So you can't.
Is it 3 straight Super Bowls?
No, it was.
That doesn't count.
It does count. Okay, is the NFL championship the league championship?
Was it called the Super Bowl back then?
No, the NFL championship was the Super Bowl back then.
But was it called the Lombardi back then?
No, because they hadn't existed.
Exactly. So
it's still the league championship in the NFL.
No,
That's how it works.
No.
Then you're invalidating every champion before the Super Bowl. You can't do that.
I am right now.
You can't.
I just did.
You can't invalidate what people did before. Jim Brown only won a
Listen, if I
championship
learned one
before
thing, I
Super
can't
Bowl.
invalidate people's feelings because then people get hurt, but I can invalidate that.
Otto Graham won the championships before the Super Bowl. You can't invalidate like the Super Bowl titles that they won.
Otto von Raschke was a wrestler, I think. Whippity crap. All right, let's break down these teams before I have an aneurysm because I don't even want to talk about either of them.
All right, so quarterback Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes.
Do the refs factor into it?
Well,
If the refs factor into it, it's Patrick Mahomes. You can't touch him. You know his pass rating's going to be high because his receivers are going to get every call. I don't like the rushing advantage goes to Jalen Hurts, and I would say Jalen Hurts has the better receivers, so he should have the better game. But having the refs in your pocket, it's got to go to Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, I would just say Patrick Mahomes anyways because I think he's a better overall passer than Hurts, and I know Hurts is still shaky from some of the play obviously he's battling with an injury right now. Obviously running, I think Hurts is better when he's at his full strength.
I would be willing to make a wild bet here.
What?
Jalen Hurts has more passing yards in the Super Bowl than Patrick Mahomes.
Possible.
The Philadelphia Eagles have more overall offensive yards than the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs will still end up winning the game.
Alright, so you're on Mahomes, I'm going with Mahomes, but you still think he might have the better passing yards out.
No, I would take Hurts if it weren't for the referees and the bias. But I'm taking Mahomes because...
Alright, so running backs.
It's Saquon.
Saquon.
You could combine Samaje Perine, Kareem Hunt, and Isaiah Pacheco to make a superhuman, and I'm still taking Saquon.
What's your predictions on touchdowns for him?
He's got at least 2.
I think he gets 2.
I've already put a bet down. He's getting at least 2.
I think he's going to get a home run hit, or do you think he's just going to?
I think he's a home run hit again. The thing is, the line's been blocking so well for him, and I don't think we've seen a better. Listen, I think I've said it before. Obviously, at the time of recording this, NFL Honors has not happened. We don't know who won.
Don't know who wins, which is a good thing because I don't want to be spoiled.
As a Josh Allen fan, I know 99% of Buffalo would be pissed at me saying this. I would not be upset with Saquon winning the MVP. That is a special year as a running back.
I wouldn't be upset with Saquon winning it either, but it's just that it's become so alienated as a quarterback.
You're right, but in all reality, if he doesn't sit the last game and he doesn't sit 2 other games at the beginning of the third, he breaks the record for rushing. Saquon is we thought he was good with the Giants. He's a whole other animal with Philadelphia. I just hope what happened with DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders does not happen with him. I don't think it will. But the one-year wonder Philly factor, I think, has it ever happened that one player's had 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl?
For running back?
For anybody. We're not passing.
For running back, Terrell Davis. Unfortunately, I'm on my team's expense.
Okay, so then I was going to say it could be a first time ever. It wouldn't shock me to see him do 3. Yeah. He is just a special, special player. But yeah, you could put him up against pretty much. There's maybe 2 running backs in the league I'd say are on his level.
I mean, right now, I think he's like the best right now.
I'm saying maybe on his level.
Yeah. All right, so let me get more of the interesting factor: wide receivers.
Oh, it's Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's got a lot of different things. They keep him happy. I mean, I know.
So the best way to describe this.
Yeah.
Philadelphia has 2 bona fide studs, and you can't teach that. Sorry, I just wanted to go back with Enzo and Cass. 2 bona fide studs and a former first-round pick who has potential at least, and he has a touchdown in the playoffs. And they only use 3 receivers, but those 2 bona fide studs are enough to give them that edge. Kansas City has a who's who of the garbage bin of receivers and a youthful exuberance in Xavier Worthy. They have a lot of names, but in terms of talent, it's kind of guys at the end of their career. Juju's not the guy he once was. DeAndre Hopkins is not the guy he once was. Hollywood Brown maybe is better. It's tough to kind of gauge him. He is coming back off a season-long injury. And I mean, they are missing Rashee Rice, but like, it's got to be Philly, right? What were you gonna say on that?
I do think the Eagles have the better receiving core right now than the Chiefs. I mean, it's more of Patrick Mahomes just being Patrick Mahomes with a lot of these receivers right now. I mean, even Kelsey didn't really have a great year this year.
No.
So, I mean, he's done a little better in the playoffs, which is all that matters. But still, I mean, I don't think he's where he was last year, for sure. And I mean, I know that's going a little bit spoilers to the tight ends over here, but, I mean, the receiving core, I mean, not really that many. Not really, like, I don't think we got really, they don't really have that many big ones.
Again, like I said, Casey has names, but they're used. It's guys who aren't producing at the levels they used to. Yeah. And realistically, like, it's going to sound like I'm the bitter Buffalo Bills fan. I don't think Xavier Worthy's as good as everybody tries to cry and slam on the table that he is. He's a nice gadget tool. He's a very good gadget tool. Is he ever going to be a 12 to 1,300 yard receiver? I don't think so. The book will eventually be out on him. You'll be able to figure it out. He's not Deebo Samuel. He's not as shifty. He's a straight line runner. Yeah, A.J. Brown is a receiver who can control a game. Devontae...
Yeah, and if he goes there more often, because, I mean, I know the first 2 playoffs games, they didn't really go there that much to him, but, you know, championship game, they went to him a little bit more, and...
Fun fact, if I'm not mistaken, 3 Philadelphia receivers have over 12 targets.
I believe they do.
I think it's A.J. Brown. Oh, yeah, it's A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. And even weirder fact, out of 12 targets, you know how many catches Devonta Smith has?
For the playoffs?
Yep.
I think because of the championship game, I think he got like around 6. But he had only like 2, like in the first 2 playoff games.
You're wrong. He is 12 of 12. He has not dropped the target.
Yeah, but he didn't have that many in the first 2 playoff games. He only
he had 3 and 3 each, or 2 and 4. Remember they played 2 games before facing Washington. They didn't have a first round bye.
Yeah, but he didn't. They didn't have.
I looked it up earlier. He has 12 catches on 12 targets.
Well, yeah, but most of them was from the championship.
Maybe
game.
6 or 7, but
most of them were from the championship.
But
game
he's still 12.
He was pretty much quiet for the first 2 playoff games. Not that it mattered because they won anyway.
He's still 12 of 12, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would go with them. Now with tight ends, as I already just alluded to,
you go ahead and start this one out.
Kelsey hasn't played that. I mean, Dallas.
If we're being fair, for Kansas City, you have to give him a 2-headed monster because Noah Gray has had a good year.
Yeah. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one because. Again, Kelsey has played okay in the playoffs. He had to have a really good season this year, but I mean, when they needed him to step up for the big games, he has. So, and like you said, the other guy is also doing really good as well. So I would probably, if I had to pick, I'd probably give the Chiefs a slight edge in tight end, but not by that much, though.
I'm very boldly saying it's a tie.
It's a tie?
It's a split tie.
Tie or slight.
They move the ball well, and you know in big games that they're going to find a way to get Travis Kelce the ball. But for as bad of a year as Dallas Goedert had, he was injured 2 different stints. He missed, I think, 6 or 7 games of the year. Only had 400 yards. I think 412 yards to be exact. Don't quote me on that. He has had almost 200 yards in the playoffs. He had 85 yards last week against the Commanders. He has not had a game under 45 yards so far in the playoffs. Dallas Goedert is firing on all cylinders in the playoffs, and the Chiefs can't cover the tight end. So I think that's going to be the battle of the Super Bowl is going to be what the tight ends both do.
Yeah.
Offensive line?
Oh, yeah, we can do offensive. Yeah, offensive
might as well do the position groups.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Philly. Even after losing Jason Kelsey,
they still got a really good line.
They have a very consistent line, and Kansas City's line has been shaky. And you hate to keep going to the ref, but they keep getting away with that kickback, and they keep getting away with these penalties. They've shuffled the line how many times, and it's just, okay, well, there you go, have it. The Phillies line gets yelled at and bitched at, and you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. The whole kickback rule was on Philly, and They haven't been penalized that much this year. So I'm going to go with Philly. They've got a very, very strong line. Do we want to go to the D-line? Do we want to go to the defense? How do we want to do this?
Yeah, we go right to the defense.
Just overall defense, or
Overall, or position? You want to go linebacker?
Let's go defensive line. This one's tough. This could kind of go either way. Chris Jones is obviously the havoc wreaker for Kansas City. George Karlaftis has been really nice, but I think the more well-rounded is Philadelphia, and I'm going to give Philly the edge here. Jalen Carter is an animal, one of the best disruptors as an interior defensive lineman in the game. Josh Sweat really, really played a nice role this year with 8 sacks. I think it's Brandon Graham. Is Brandon Graham still on the roster?
For the Eagles or the Chiefs?
Eagles.
Let's see him.
Oh, it might be because he's on the injured reserve, but Nolan Smith had a good year. Nolan Smith is young too, 3rd round pick in the last 2 years. I'm gonna go with Philly on that one.
Yeah. For the we're doing the linebackers first.
No, defensive line.
Okay, defensive line. For defensive line, yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with the Eagles. I mean,
really, the big one for KC is Chris Jones, and that's kind of it, right?
Yeah, Chris Jones. That's about it. I mean, he's not even ranked.
I'm not taking Matt Dana. I'm not taking Tershawn Wharton. Like, George Karlaftis has been good, but
yeah, I wouldn't pick him. I'd say the Chiefs. Or I'm sorry, the Eagles.
On to the linebackers.
Linebackers, I mean, Chiefs got Nick.
So the thing is, the Chiefs have a very underrated crew. They've got 2 3s and a 4, but every single one of their linebackers is incredibly athletic.
Yeah.
If there's a way they're going to keep up, and that's why they were so good against running backs this year. They have a very fast crew of linebackers. Phillies. Oh, I think you missed it. Here we go. N'Kobe Dean. So Zach Bond, they run similar to Buffalo runs.
Yeah.
The 4-2 and then the heavy nickel. Zach Bond is in the discussion for comeback player of the year. I don't know if you know that.
No.
He was a 2nd-round pick out of New Orleans who basically flamed out.
Didn't do well there. And
Flamed out.
Another team.
No, he didn't even trade it. He went in free agency. He signed a 1-year deal, I believe, in Philly. And it was a prove it, and he has been an absolute machine. I'm gonna give the edge to Kansas City, especially because that will control if Saquon's productive or not.
Yeah, the linebackers have to control, and I think they will. And I'd say, well, I don't think they'll do it as well, but I think they will try to contain Saquon as much as they can.
And then I guess we can lump the secondary as a whole.
Safeties and
corner. Go to KC first. So KC, you've got McDuffie, Jalen Watson, Justin Reed, and Brian Cook. Brian Cook is a replacement level safety. That's the only way to put it. He's a former 2nd-round pick who never really panned out, and he's just getting reps because they don't have much else. Jalen Watson was a 6th-round pick. Like, they don't have a lot there. They're performing, but they're not performing great. Philadelphia has Reed Blankenship. I'm sorry. I think we can say this on the air, right? The Exciting Whites.
Oh.
That's literally the coined nickname for their secondary right now.
Really?
Yes, because Reed Blankenship and, I'm forgetting his other name, Cooper DeJean, nickel cornerback, are both white, which you don't see often in secondary players. Cooper DeJean should have been a 1st-round pick last year. Didn't do well at the combine. But then you have Quinyon Mitchell, who was a high-round pick. You still have Darius Slay. You still have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's got to be... You know, they picked on Philly secondary forever, but the youth revival there is so talented. It's Philly secondary.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The Eagles secondary is just... It's way above the Chiefs right now with the stats, and obviously when we look at them, these are names. Chiefs...
The Chiefs have the best single player on the list.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie's by far the best
That's
quarterback.
it. That's all they have.
But they have a star. It's easy to throw around and miss that one player. When Philly, you have five talented guys. Good luck throwing around them.
You have a completer secondary. All right, and then after that, there was
Head coach.
head coach. Yeah.
Or do we want to do special or special teams?
We'll do special teams after. We'll do head coach.
Oh, let's do special teams first. It's an actual roster player.
All right, kicker and punter. Because he was battling an injury, right?
He's still back. Harrison Bucker.
Herb Bucker's back.
And Jake Elliott for Philly.
What's their percentages?
Jake Elliott was not good this year.
It'd be good if it comes down to a field goal.
Jake Elliott was shaky this year. Harrison Bucker has been shaky as well.
Because he's been battling injury, so...
Listen, all I know is he either needs to kick 2 early field goals in the first quarter or miss an extra point for me. I'm in a minute pool, and I've got 7 and 6 in the first quarter.
Minute pool?
Yep. Every minute my numbers are up, I get $150.
That's good.
7 and 6 though, not easy to happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a tie. Both guys can win you a game, but both guys can lose you a game. Neither of them are over the top.
It would be a tie for me right now. I mean, if I had to pick something, it would probably be Bucker, but only by a slight margin. I'd still say it's a tie, though. They're shaky right now. They're both... He is good, and Bucker was, like I said, he's injured the whole season, so he hasn't been that really good right now this season because of it. Punters...
I don't even know who they are.
I mean, hang time's important in these situations.
Yeah, but I guess my bigger thing is who are the returners?
That's true, too.
I'd be more concerned about who the returners are than who the punters are.
Just because the field position is also going to depending on what this game is going to be like, too. It's like, field position could be a factor as well in certain situations. You just don't know in some of these games.
Kansas City has... punter is Matt Araiza.
For who? Chiefs?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
That was the former Bill with Ivory O and Nico Remigio. Very little heard of out of Fresno State. The reason I'm excited about that, myself and Dry Rub Daddy from the Wing Show, when we did tape a couple years, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, Remigio came out. And Fresno State's Jake Hayner was quarterback. And Remigio is a very, very good receiver. I actually really like Remigio's tape. Very, very shifty. And Brandon Mann and Cooper DeJean is the punt returner for Philly.
They haven't any punt return touchdowns, right?
I don't think so.
Has there been anyone who's gotten a kickoff return touchdown this season?
I think so.
Under the new format?
I believe so. I'm going to say Brandon Mann's the most important here.
Yeah.
Because Remigio is by far the better punt returner. So I'm going to take Brandon Mann because I think they're both very similar. Matt Araiza had, 2 years off the NFL. He didn't have that great of a year. He had a good year, but it wasn't, ecstatic. So, yeah, give me Brandon Mann, or Brady Mann.
You got the Eagles. I'd have to agree with the Eagles here. I just, it's either or, but they're turners factors and obviously punters. If they have to, the field position is going to be significant when it comes to Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. You got to have that hang time and stuff like that. So I would give it a slight edge there. In terms of the head coaches, I think it's obvious for me.
Yeah, listen, Nick Sirianni, say what you want, good coach, but Andy Reid's great.
Yeah,
I'm starting to hate him. He reminds me of Bill Belichick now, but you still got to give the guy his respect.
The guy had over 100 wins before Patrick Mahomes. So, he'd probably better Bill Belichick at this point. I mean, I have to give it to Andy Reid. I do like Nick Sirianni. I do think the guy's a good coach. I don't think the guy gets enough credit because he's more of a character type head coach, which is rare in the NFL these days, which I have no issues with, by the way. I like guys that have personalities, so I've never had an issue with Nick Sirianni like others have. But Andy Reid's the longevity. You have to go with Andy Reid. So, yeah, definitely Andrew. Hopefully Nick Sirianni learned from the last Super Bowl because obviously he went up against them 2 years ago, so maybe he'll be a little more prepared this time. But I'd still have to give it to Andy Reid here as the edge. All right. So, our picks for the Super Bowl with the the Chiefs being a 2-point or 1 point favorite. Favorites. I don't like either of these teams right now because the Chiefs are the Chiefs and the Eagles are obviously the team that eliminated my team. So I'm not really too thrilled about the Eagles right now. But I am 2-0 in the new format of our prediction show since we started this particular prediction show from the OG prediction show we used to do back in the day. But for this prediction show, I am 2-0 in the Super Bowl. And I would like to remain undefeated in the Super Bowl picks. So because of that, as much as I hate the Eagles right here, I do think the Eagles get the revenge. And they prevent the three-peat because there's never been a three-peat in the NFL under the Super Bowl format, despite my Packers doing it in between the end of the championship era and the Super Bowl era. There's never been a three-peat. There's always been a curse. This is the first team that's had an opportunity to three-peat in the Super Bowl. The closest was the Niners in the 90s championship game when Montana got injured and was out for 2 years. I don't think it happens. I think the Chiefs lose this game. I say Saquon's there. The Eagles are prepared. They know what they have to do. They've been there before. They've experienced it. I think they beat them. I'm going to say it is going to be 37-28. I think the Eagles beat them. And they get a touchdown towards the end. Mahomes tries to get it close again with like a minute left after like losing by a touchdown or whatever. And they hold them on a desperation pass, and the Eagles hold on and win the game. Saquon Barkley will be the Super Bowl MVP with 3 touchdowns. I'm going to say it right now. He's going to tie Terrell Davis's record.
How many yards?
Give me 210 yards rushing. He's going to get one of them. Going to be like one of them. I think is going to beat Willie Parker's rushing touchdown record, which was 75.
I thought it was closer to 90. That would have been James Harrison. I'm thinking.
You're thinking of the interception.
That's what James Harrison.
Yeah.
So this is a game of what does my heart say, what does my head say? My head says says Kansas City because the refs and Roger Goodell and kissing peepees of Patrick Mahomes. My heart says Philadelphia because I cannot stomach to see Patrick Mahomes and his ugly ass brother and his conceited wife win anymore. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia. I'm sure I'll wake up. I'm not watching it. Who am I kidding? I'm not watching the game. This is the first time I can say that I can remember since.
Just watching the money.
No, I'm paying attention to my 10-year bets. I'm not watching the game. This is the first time since the Raiders-Bucks game that I can remember I'm not watching a Super Bowl.
You didn't watch the game? I thought you said you did.
I did. That's what I'm saying. That'll be the first time I've missed a game since that year.
You missed that game, or
No, I watched that game. It'll be the first time I have missed a Super Bowl since that year.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Give me Philadelphia 41, Kansas City 32.
Super Bowl MVP.
A.J. Brown. No, Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith. What is the stats?
Two receiving touchdowns. He's gonna catch 2 late receiving touchdowns, and he's going to have 130 yards receiving.
All right.
Did you notice I wore my my NFL referee shirt as well?
That's your referee. Where's the referee?
Oh, right there. It's a clown.
So he's the referee?
Yeah, it's a clown.
All right. So, yeah, this is the end of the season for the Beast Picks for next year. Getting bigger and better as we get the format going. Third year of doing the Beast Pick formation. Very good doing this, and I hope keep doing it more. Maybe stick around. Possibly off-season we might do something. Never guaranteed, but hopefully maybe we do something. I don't know, talk about stadiums. I mean, stadium stuff is a big topic or something. They're free agents.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll talk if the refs get all fired.
Was it true that one ref did get suspended?
No.
That overruled it?
No.
Because I was hearing that, I was like, that can't be true.
No. There's a lot of Facebook warriors of fake shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was still pissed off. That was definitely. I mean, it shouldn't. People forget that the play before that was a first down too. Knox got the first down.
I'm not even talking about that. My biggest issue with the whole damn game was if it's not a catch by Xavier Worthy. If it's not,
there was holding on that.
No,
too.
I don't give a shit. If it's not an interception by Cole Bishop, it's an incomplete pass. The ball hit the ground.
I definitely think it was an incomplete pass, but it was still been holding though, so they would still got something out of it. But it should have been incomplete because he didn't really have control of the ball.
No, the ball hit the ground.
Fucking hit the ground. They're saying, oh well, it didn't move or whatever, but he didn't really have control of it, and mostly it was the other defender who had it. You know, so it was just all stupid. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for your support. For anybody who's been either watching it here, listening to it on the Spotify, which we started this year, or watching it on the website, thank you so much. Make sure to keep subscribing and following us and all that good stuff. Spread the wings. You got those wings going on.
Yep.
And
I think that'll do it.
Looking for the Packers next year. Hopefully we win next year for the recap one. You got your sponsor?
Just gonna shout out Kyle at Chicken Dip and hit him up. Code 716 for 15% off the order. If you purchase a chicken dippin', you might still have time to get one for the Super Bowl.
All right, perfect. That's it, guys. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. He is the reigning 48. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you are watching it, and see you next year.
Peace.
Peace.